Well, hi folks, about another 2 weeks after my last roundup. I'll just give you a quick roundup and show you what's going on. Start off in the Polytunnel. Just turn this camera around, you don't want to see my ugly mug. So the potatoes are absolutely flying on now. The ones that are growing pots indoors, and they look really leggy, but they've really bulked up now. So I think by the end of this month, maybe another 2 weeks, I'm going to tip one out and see if we've got any potatoes. Try and get some potatoes in May. But like I said, they've come on leaps and bounds since I put them in here. They're only in small pots, like half-size pots, 15 litre pots. I've only put one potato in one, and I put a couple in some others. They're the ones with one in. I think that's got 2 in, and that's a slightly bigger pot. As you can see, bigger leaves, so happy with those so far. Planted me French beans out now, my runner beans. We're supposed to be getting a bit of a hard frost this week sometime, hopefully the last one. So I might just put a little bit of fleece on them and the potatoes even inside, just for a bit of safekeeping. So I'm only growing 6 as usual. That produces absolutely tons of beans. They're so prolific, Cobra. When I first started, I grew about 20 feet of them, and I ended up getting about £10 a day, and they were just sick to death of them. So now 6 will do a family, you know, our family, more than enough. We'll be eating them 3 or 4 times a week at that. Planted my lettuces outside, I'll show you those soon. Just put the little rumps in the inside, the odd ones that I got left. So they should come on quicker in here with the warmth. The big onion, it's still under fleece, because even though it's not particularly hot, it's quite high UV, which scorches the leaves. And I'm really pleased with it so far, but as always with these giant things, there's something can go wrong. One of the others in the bed actually went to seed, the one that was growing sideways. I knew there was something wrong with it, but it popped a little seed head out, so I've pulled that up and thrown it away. But this one looks absolutely normal, and I think it's as big as I've ever grown one at this time of year. So fingers crossed, if it keeps going till September, late September, I might get a 10-pounder, but like I said, there's all sorts of things can go wrong, but hopefully not. Carrots have really picked up now, they're starting to move, the show carrots. These are the stump ones. I've got 3 boxes of these. I've got some growing outside, but the difference between the ones inside and out is just unbelievable. They've not even, only just sprouted outside. So I'm happy with those. Planted another guttering of peas the other night, and I forgot to put it on top of these little buckets to keep it off the ground, to stop the mice getting it. And the mice had got to it already. Look, it was just on the bed for one night, and they've gone in, made the little telltale holes, and there's an eaten pea. A bit more debris, another little hole, and some more little holes. I don't think they've taken many, they've probably only taken about half a dozen, so they should all start coming up, and it should keep them off now. Now I've put them on these buckets, because I don't think they can jump about 18 inches high, but you never know. The little commando bloody voles are these, I think, different breed. Right, the long carrots, same thing. They always looked small when they start off, but they do pick up later on in the season. But they're all up now and growing away. Like I said, I've planted most of my stuff outside, I'll show you in a bit. Leeks still need thinning out. I just can't be bothered, it's such a fiddly job. A couple of remaining cabbages and kales left. These are the second lot of shallots I planted, because the first lot were a bit of a misfire. I planted 2 rows out, which were okay, and these should be ready to go out in about, I would say about another week's time, because they're not far off. Once they get about 3 leaves on, and they're about 6 inches, they tend to be able to look after themselves. A few more spring onions in plugs, and the second lot of lettuce to be planted out whenever they're ready. Right, a few odd things. Giant carrots in pots, giant parsnips in the tubes, which I do not know what I'm going to do with still. The big red onions, putting those in the 30 litre pots, and they've grown already. They're sending more leaves out, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on with these. And then finally in here are the daft carrots. If I'll show you the size of them, look, compared to a watering can, and they've got another 4 months to grow yet. I had a scrat about on the top, and they're about 1.5 inches wide already, so I'd just love to grow a huge one. You never know, I might fluke a 15-pounder or something like that. The world record's £20, which was brought by Peter Glazebrook last year. But he knows a damn sight more than I do, but you never know, you might get one of these fluke ones, and we'll see. The pathetic, pitiful little show onions have been planted out now, and they're all doing okay now. They're starting to pick up. They're not anything to write home about, but they should be okay. I've put some little supports on just to stop the leaves from flopping and try and keep them upright, because if you let them flop over, then the bulb tends to grow a different shape, not the desired shape. But no, they're okay. They're putting some nice leaves on now, so once they get down into the good soil, they should start bulking up a bit, putting some big proper leaves on. And this is the last of the giant ones that I'm growing in a bed, like a little mini raised bed. And even this one's going a bit mutant. It's got like horns growing out of it, look. They were both a bit funny, these ones in the pot, in the bed, but the one in the pot's fine. Like I said, we'll just keep it growing. If something happens to it, I'll just pull it up, but they're not grown for beauty, they're purely for size. So we'll keep it going and see how we get on with that. So we'll just have a quick look outside. It's pretty much the same as it has been, but we'll just show you what's been going on. Well, here we are outside, and we've had some horrendous gales over the last... It's blowing a gale now, actually, but they've actually stood up to the wind, thankfully. So these are some more. I put another cloche over, I built another little cloche to keep the butterflies and the pigeons and stuff out. It does offer a little bit of wind resistance, so we've got some kale there, some red cabbages, and some more savoys. I just love savoy cabbage, so I'm planting plenty of those. But they're doing okay so far, and they've stood up to the gales, which is the main thing. They were flapping about, but they're okay. These are the onions. They've perked up a bit since planting out. They've got a bit bent in the wind, like they will do, but they seem to have picked up a bit. I think there's about 40 of each, 40 normal ones and 40 red ones. And then the shallots and thistles. Shallots are doing okay, they seem to be. Quite thin leaves for some reason this year, I don't know why. I think that's because they're actually splitting into a lot of little cloves rather than just a few. So they'll be smaller, but there'll be more of them. So anyway, we'll see how they get on. It shouldn't be too long before they're ready though, maybe another 6 weeks, because they're quite advanced, because I set them off quite early. This is the rough bit where I grew my pumpkin last year, and I'm going to grow a few marrows in it as well, because I'm setting plenty of plants off. But as you can see, a rabbit has decided to make a big burrow in it. Keep filling it in and it keeps digging it out, so it's tilling my soil well, but I really do need to keep it out. It's kept out most of the way with chicken wire, but there's just a few little patches that it manages to get in, so I'll have to sort that out before I plant out, otherwise it's just going to ruin it, isn't it? This is the main marrow bed, 40 foot of it up there. Well, it's a bit of a mess in the middle. I'm going to grow one at one end and grow one at this end, put loads of horse muck in, so I'm just going to prepare some growing pits now, dig loads of compost and manure in and fertiliser, give it a really good head start in a nice lump of soil, and hopefully it should get off to a flying start. I've just sown my marrow seeds now, from some absolutely huge ones, 120 pound plus ones, and some giant yellow ones, so we'll see how they get on. Should be interesting. I'm trying to get £100 this year, but we'll see how we get on. But it won't be till June they get planted out, because it's still too cold for them. Onto the spuds now, and at last, look, we've got a few sprouts. Started to blow a gale again, but they're all sprouting now. So because it has warmed up a bit, every one's up I think, apart from an odd one. So at least we're off and running. I planted them in April, 1st of April or something, so they've been sat there for 5 or 6 weeks doing nothing. So it just goes to show you there's no point in planting stuff too early, because they just sit there in the cold and nothing happens, so you're just wasting your time. But anyway, they're up now, and that's it. We should get some decent spuds hopefully this year. Right, onto the other bed. Garlic, it's not looking too healthy for some reason. It's looking a little bit yellow. Don't know why that is. It's definitely not lack of nitrogen, because I put lots of horse muck in. Don't know about that one. Should perk up hopefully, but I might give it some liquid seaweed fertiliser or something like that. Give it a few minerals if it's lacking. But it's looking okay, but it's not what I expected. But they're growing okay, not doing too badly. Planted my lettuces out, first batch, day before it blew a gale, and I thought they were going to all fly away, but they didn't, thankfully. Just got me normal ones, Little Gem, some Webb's Wonderful iceberg ones, and these are the ones called multigreen. which are an absolutely fantastic one. They're like a loose leaf one, but really crispy. And I found those for the first time last year and I was really impressed. The first of the shallots, the banana shallots, have gone out. That's about the size I planted them, like 6 inches with 3 leaves on. So I've got 2 rows in. There's about 3 dozen in each row. I've left enough room for another row behind, and then I'll plant all the rest just in any old bit of space I've got. Cabbages, some more savoys. They're the bigger ones, like I showed you before. They're the smaller ones, a bit closer together. And then I'll have to go around here, the wind's blowing. The first lot of peas are planted, doing okay now. They should start grabbing hold of the chicken wire and climbing up in a bit. But they've had plenty of frosty nights and it doesn't seem to affect them whatsoever. So peas are frost hardy as far as I'm concerned. And lettuces to a certain degree, I think, because they've had a touch of frost and it's not affected those. So they are pretty hardy peas. And hopefully, oh god, as it all starts blowing again, they should start climbing shortly. And finally, the way I grow my spring onions, which people find a bit strange, but quite a lot of people do it, and it gives me good results. Just plant them in the little plugs and then give them a bit of a head start inside, and then just plant them outside. Only takes a few seconds, and then you just get a big clump of spring onions. You can pull the whole lot up, but they just seem to get away quicker, because if I plant them straight into the soil, they just don't even seem to grow. So that's about it, folks. I think it's supposed to warm up a bit, hopefully, but we're going to get a frost this week, so fingers crossed it's not a hard one. So that's about it, folks, from a blustery plot. I'll see you later.